Hi, welcome to my latest video. In this we're going to cover some of the easiest ways to connect your computer to a smart TV. This is in 2025. Now a lot of my videos cover how to use VPNs to access geoblock content, things like BBC iPlayer, watching NBC, ABC, DTV, DSTV, the South African channel, and lots of others from anywhere in the world. Now you use a VPN to do this, but usually it's easier to do it on a computer. Smart TVs are great, but most of them, they're a bit fiddly to install a VPN service on now. So most of us get our foreign TV, so to speak, using a VPN on a laptop or a desktop or something like that. But if you want to watch movies, you need a big screen, don't you? And there are multiple ways to stream from your computer to your smart TV. And I'm going to cover some of them here. I'm going to mention the most important ones first, and then I'll just give you a quick intro to the others, and you can have a look at them as well. But first of all, using a VPN. Use a VPN with streaming methods adds a little bit of complexity to it. I'll explain in the individual methods when we get to them. But just basically, really, the easiest way, and I'll show you in a second, is to use a HDMI cable, which is a physical connection. Plug in a cable in the back of your laptop or PC to your smart TV, so a HDMI cable. Now, this isn't always available, and I'll show you an adapter you can use if that's a problem, but it transmits audio and video directly via the cable. So you don't have any problem with a VPN. Second method I'm going to show you is Chromecast and AirPlay. Now, this can have an issue because there are local network conflicts, and we'll get to that a bit in a minute as well. And the others, Miracast, DLNA, also have some issues with VPNs, and in fact DLNA, you can enable it. It's usually easier to disable the VPN's firewall or LAN block, or use a router level VPN. It's basically on internal network that as well, so you wouldn't normally use a VPN so much with DLNA anyway. Okay, so let's just go through the individual methods. Now, the easiest is to use HDMI cable, as I said. It's kind of the gold standard because you won't lose any quality. It'll be completely reliable. There's no conflicts or configuration or anything like this. So I would suggest, if at all possible, get yourself a HDMI cable, plug your laptop or PC into your smart TV. Now, I appreciate it's not always possible. If your desktop's in the next room, or there's no room for a cable or something like that, they can be a problem. But for HDMI cables, all you do is you plug your HDMI cable into your computer and your TV. If you've got a newer laptop and it hasn't got a HDMI port, which a lot of them don't have now, you can get an adapter, and I'll show you that in a second. After that, you just need to change the input source. So you go into your your TV's remote, probably, and just switch the input source to HDMI. Depends where you've plugged it in. My smart TV's got about 5, I think. So you'll need to select 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, depending. You can configure Windows display settings as well. You can use the window key and P to choose mirror or extend modes. macOS, you go into system settings. The advantages, as I said, zero latency gaming, fast-paced content, use a cable, definitely. Best video quality, audio fidelity. There's no problems with conflicts or anything like that. And you don't need a network, really, apart from if you're streaming across the network to your desktop. But if you've downloaded a film or something, you don't even need that. The limitations, the physical cable, obviously mobility, and you may need adapters. Let's have a look at the adapter. This is one I grabbed. I've just ordered this today. I've not tried it, so I'm not recommending this one particularly, but it's a Type-C to HDMI adapter. This bit, HDMI, the USB Type-C goes into your laptop generally, and there's your HDMI cable will come in and into your TV. So you can see this is only about £6. There are much more expensive ones. I've got this ordered. I'll put a little comment in if it's any good. But I've used a lot of them, and they all work pretty well, to be honest. The next method is Chromecast. I would recommend this as the alternative to HDMI if you're using a Windows PC, certainly. Google's Chromecast technology is a really reliable and versatile wireless streaming solution. Basically, you have to ensure your computer and TV are on the same network. So if you've got connect both to the same wireless network, you should be okay. Then you cast from Chrome. You've obviously got to be using the Chrome browser. So let me just show you here. So if I wanted to stream something from BBC iPlayer using a VPN, if you're not outside, not in the UK. Incidentally, if you want a great deal on a VPN to watch programs like BBC iPlayer or anything like that, I've got a great discount in my description there below, which will get you the best deal. But so you just go and you stream into Chrome, then click the three dots in the top corner, and you're looking for this menu, Cast, Save and Share, and there's Cast. Now it's not going to find anything here because I didn't select it because I haven't got any other, my smart TV isn't on this device, but that's where you will see it when you're streaming. Okay, so it's just Cast, Save and Share, just select the Cast. Now, as I mentioned, you need to be on the same network here, or otherwise it won't work. Now, the problem with a VPN is it will move your laptop or desktop onto a different network, really, because a VPN is a virtual private network. So it won't be registered on the same wireless network, say if you're using wireless at home. Now, in that case, try and use a VPN that you can either use split tunneling, which switches, so you don't use the VPN on all your clients, you just use it for a specific browser. Or you can use, I've found works very well for me using NordVPN, and I think some of the other VPN services have got it as well. That you can use their Chrome extension and then just select the particular connection there, and that I find works very well. You will find that you're both on the same network there because it doesn't force all your data from that device, the computer, down the VPN. So you'll find Chromecast will work perfectly well with that. So perfect. Chromecast you can just use for streaming YouTube, the web videos, browser-based content, casual viewing. As say, it's HD quality support, works great on things like BBC iPlayer as well. Not so great on gaming. You might find Netflix and other DRM protected services are a bit fiddly from the browser tab, but it does work pretty well, really. Chromecast is a great option. If you're not on Windows, remember, Apple AirPlay is another thing, or if you're doing it from something like an iPad. In the Apple ecosystem, AirPlay is really good. You're basically mirroring your screen with this. That basically the setup process is verify both your Mac and the TV, again, are on the same Wi-Fi network, or it won't work. Click the Control Center icon in your Mac's menu bar, select Screen Mirroring. This will change depending on what device you're using slightly. Select Screen Mirroring and choose your compatible TV and start streaming on your Apple and mirror it to your TV. It works really well and it's very reliable, I found. So it works well with Apple TV boxes, AirPlay 2 enabled smart TVs. Lots of them like Samsung, LG, Sony and Vizio support it. If you don't support AirPlay, I'm afraid it won't work, so you'll have to try one of the other options. Another option, if you don't like any of these, don't like Chrome or something like that, it's called Miracast. Now, you might not know you've got this, but it's built directly into the Windows operating system. A Miracast is a hardware-free wireless display solution. It works very similar to Chromecast. I haven't used it that much. You can enable it by just pressing the Windows key and tapping K, and you'll get this cast screen for all of Windows. Now, we can't find anything here, because I haven't got a smart TV or anything compatible on my network, but it would work just like the Chrome thing. So you enable your TV receiver and establish a link and just carry on from there. So it's great with Windows PC that haven't got Chromecast support. It works better with it's not working on the network, so it avoids network congestion. It's great for quick presentation, screen sharing. I've not used it extensively, so I won't pretend I know a lot about it. It has got lower latency requirements because it's not network-based streaming. It doesn't work with macOS computers. Obviously, it's built into Windows, needs Wi-Fi direct capability, and the TV must support Miracast protocol. Give it a go. It might work well for you. It's free. It's built into Windows. Give it a try. And the other option, I'm not going to explain a lot on this, but if you want something a bit different, if you're looking at wanting something to stream a catalog or a library, this is if you've got maybe an example that I used to use DLNA was when I had a network storage device with all my files on it, so I could stream directly from Windows and macOS onto my smart TV. And I also used it with, I used a little device called Shield, which was a media streamer, which I used quite a lot. That was great. And then it works best for downloaded movies where you've got the actual file, the physical file, rather than mirroring your screen, which it can't actually do. It can't mirror your screen or stream live browser content. So you're looking at physical files there from a computer onto your TV, smart TV. But if you've got a lot of content, you download a lot of content, maybe peer-to-peer networks or down, from friends or stuff, send files. DLNA is worth looking into. As I say, it's quite a big sort of setup here, beyond the scope of this video, which is already getting a bit long. Okay, and that's basically it. That's my little summary. It's not complete. It's not totally extensive, but I would say most people have a look at, if you're using a VPN as well, try and get that cable working. The physical practicalities aside, it's the best option really between and HDMI cable costs peanuts, and that HDMI adapter only costs a few quid or dollars or euros wherever you are. Okay, right, I'm going to finish now. It's definitely got too long, this video. I hope this has helped somebody anywhere, and if you enjoyed my video, give me a like or even a subscription, or better still, buy a NordVPN subscription from my link below and enjoy a great value deal on the world's best VPN service. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.